You're watching Camnet TV, not just another channel. Welcome to our news. The headlines. Local block manufacturers complain of unfair competition from foreigners. Kambwili in beefed up security as court finds him with a case to answer for insulting President LUNGU. UPND MBABALA MP BELEMU accuses his party of stabbing him in the back, hence running to PF. In international news, Mozambique army says town attacked by fighters is now secure. In sports news, Manchester City post 126 million euros loss for disrupted 2019-2020 season. For the details, join me shortly after this break.
2021 has been described as a highly politically charged year. This is because every 5 years the country goes to the polls, and that 5 years elapses with only a few months remaining down to the ballot. The battlefield to appear on the ballot is becoming fertile. A lot of people are expressing interest of appearing on the ballot.
In all this, our interest is to put the duty bearers, the leaders, and those aspiring to task by asking the relevant questions.
If you're an aspiring candidate, be it councillor, mayor, or member of parliament, get in touch with us to get yourself on the verdict.
We go beyond speculation in dealing with policy and governance issues. The right questions are asked to help you make a verdict. For more details, you can call us on 0962 965883, 0979 753010, or email us info@camnettvafrica.com. Terms and conditions apply. Join us on Camnet TV
every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday at 17:45 hours
on a new program dubbed The Verdict.
Remember that Camnet TV is not just another channel.
With the details, my name is Liseli Kanyanga Mubanga. Some block-making entrepreneurs in Lusaka have complained of unfair competition from foreign block-making companies that have dominated the Zambian market. In an interview with Camnet News, the entrepreneurs have lamented that their small businesses are struggling to remain afloat because of high competition from foreign companies with high capital, making it difficult for them to compete. They are now calling on government to intervene in the matter and ensure small businesses are protected from complete collapse. And a senior economist, Amon Jere, says businesses such as block making should be left for the local people in order to empower local people and boost money supply in the economy. Details in this report.
Zambia has in the last 3 years seen a spike in the number of block-making companies due to the fact that it is a developing country and that the block-making industry has been a flourishing sector. Constructions are happening in all sectors of the economy, from roads to healthy facilities, housing, infrastructure, just to mention a few. This, however, is supposed to be an opportunity for local block-making businesses to flourish as they tap into the resources being released for the construction sector. This has not been the case as more foreign companies have now taken over the block-making market and are crafting even what the local people are also crafting. This has worried small businesses who have been making ends meet through their businesses and now wants government to come up with a strategy that will allow small businesses supply their produce to government projects.
Government can come in and help us, to grow our business, because we are making these things also to earn something at the end of the day. Yes, but instead of the government buying from us, the government is busy giving business to Lebanese and so on, and other companies. And us, we are here stuck. We can't make business, we can't do what. Even those guys are even blocking our business. Our business is very slow. It's very slow. It's because of them. Even blocks, even all these things that we make, you find that they are also making. So at the end of the day, we lose out.
Upon the government to help us and protect us, because most of us have been affected. We used to make blocks, now we have stopped because of the Lebanese. These are other guys who have come in. And now they have even started making the capstones and other things which we are making. So we have even stopped making other things which we are making because of the competition is hard now. Yeah.
And the senior economist Amon Jere says businesses such as block making should be reserved for the local people, who should instead be empowered with equipment through the Citizen Empowerment Commission, then be given tenders by government for them to supply their products to the government.
What we can do is to allocate a quota for them. Maybe we start with 20-30%, they need to supply that, but at the same time we start working on improving their capacity in terms of quality and the quantity, empower them with more machinery. That way, if we empower them and we create a market for them, they're able to sell more into the construction industry, they'll be able to make more money and expand their businesses and create more jobs for Zambians. And that's how the economy grows. When you go to other countries like South Africa and even Lebanon itself, all these businesses are owned and managed by the local citizens. I think we need to do that, because we are not constrained by regional bloc treaties like the COMESA treaties, SADC trade treaties when it comes to such businesses. I think it's just important that government looks into it, we protect our brothers and we empower them. That's what is more important, that we give them more capacity to be able to meet the demand. We train them, give them machinery.
Money can only continue to circulate in an economy if it is being banked and invested in the same economy, as opposed to it being invested in other countries. This is the more reason that local businesses need to be empowered and take part in the development of the country. Prudence Tota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Development inequality has prompted over 500 residents of Chayala area to petition the Kafue District Council. The residents have petitioned the local authorities' decision to demand that residents start paying property rates without providing any development in the area, such as water and sanitation services and lack of tarred roads. The residents under the Zone B Neighborhood Association say they do not understand how they have been left out on the development agenda, but the council continues to hike and demand its rates. Meanwhile, Kafue District Commissioner Gibson Sinkala has assured the residents that he will table their concerns with the council chairperson. Mr. Sinkala says the residents' complaints are very genuine.
The residents, through their representatives, are presenting a petition to Kafue Town Council Chairperson. This time it's the District Commissioner, citing unfair treatment in the allocation of roads to be tarred and lack of other services such as water and sanitation services. Our petition is that in the interest of equity, before land rates are effected and we start paying, certain services such as roadworks should equally be attended to for us and other residents of this area to appreciate and feel being part of the development like any other neighboring residential areas.
To this petition, I would not want to preempt, but I would have loved that if there was any engagement with the council, I wouldn't think this is a matter which the council can fail to resolve. But I have received the petition. You are entitled, you are Zambians, and when you are not happy with a public institution like the council, which is supposed to provide the service, you have every right to engage the council. I'll engage my colleagues, and I must just assure you that in no delay, maybe tomorrow or the other day, the council will engage you, and I will be part of that meeting. I will be part of that meeting.
National Democratic Congress NDC President Chishimba Kambwili has been found with a case to answer in a matter in which he is accused of referring to President Edgar Lungu as a dog. Lusaka Chief Resident Magistrate Lamek Mwale, in his ruling Tuesday morning, explained that the state had adduced sufficient evidence to put Mr. Kambwili on his defense. In this matter, Kambwili stands charged with 1 count of defamation of the president. The matter has since been adjourned to the 20th of April 2021 for commencement of trial. More in this report.
For quite some time, he has been appearing before the courts of law to answer charges of different cases he has been accused of. Currently, Dr. Chimba Kambwili is appearing before 4 different magistrates where he is facing different offenses, among them contempt of court and defamation of the president. Getting back to what transpired Tuesday morning when his case, in which he is accused of uttering defamatory words against the head of state, was called before Lusaka Chief Resident Magistrate Lamek Mwale, the opposition leader was put on his defense after being found with a case to answer. In delivering a ruling on case or no case to answer this morning, Magistrate Mwale states that he had established sufficient evidence which has left the court to put the accused on his defense. The embattled National Democratic Congress leader, however, could not proceed in giving his defense this morning and requested the court for more time as he needed to seek guidance from his lawyers. He also informed the court that he was going to call a witness to testify in his defense. In this matter, the NDC leader stands charged with 1 count of defamation of the president, contrary to the laws of Zambia. It is alleged that on dates unknown but between 26 and 27 August 2019, with intent to bring the name of the president into hatred, ridicule or contempt, he did publish an insulting matter by word of mouth. Meanwhile, while leaving the court premise, the NDC leader was noticed with tight security. Miriam Kemba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
The Lusaka High Court has sentenced a ZAF Air Force civilian and a traditional doctor and 2 others to life in prison for the murder of 7 Zambians in 2016. The ritual killings took place in George and Zingalume townships, with all victims having been found with missing private parts. Judge Florence Lengalenga, in her 3-hour judgment, says all the murder suspects deserve a stiffer punishment for their actions. More in this report.
They now have to spend their entire life in prison after the High Court found them guilty of murder charges. These are the 4 men who were the mastermind behind the ritual killings of 7 Lusaka residents in 2016. This case has taken 5 years of trial proceedings, with different witnesses testifying before court. After the state closing their case, the court had found these men with a case to answer and placed them on their defense. And during their defense, the 4 had denied ever committing the offense. But delivering judgment Tuesday afternoon, which was reserved to April, in January this year, High Court judge found all the 4 men guilty of the offense and sent them to prison. March 2016 is the month and year that these gruesome killings happened. Zingalume and George compound are the areas that were targeted. The 4 men involved are Lewis Walia, a witch doctor, Christopher Kasapo, a Zambia Air Force Office assistant, Elvis Nyanga, a soldier, and Lucky Siame, a warrant officer. The victims killed are Elias Piri, Clever Chagwa, Alex Zulu, Amon Sichamba, William Chela, Anton Mwamba, and Boris Muzamara between March 5th and April 17, 2016. Details of the case is that the victims were murdered in similar manner by crushing their left side of the head, removing body parts, among them ears, hearts, and genitals, raising suspicion of ritual killings. Other evidence on record before court is that after killing their victims, they would sell the body parts to Chinese, Indians, and white in exchange for dollars. For the families that their relatives were victims in this case, justice has been served. Miriam Kemba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
A medical expert, Rachel Hampunda, has observed that hearing loss, despite its severity, has not been given the much-needed attention in the healthcare system. Dr. Hampunda says hearing loss is one of the most common congenital sensory birth defects, accounting for 4 to 6 per 1,000 live births in the developing world, hence the need to attach seriousness in dealing with the matter. More in this report.
Global statistics show that 1 billion people are at risk of hearing loss due to recreational exposure to loud sound. Hearing loss is diminished acuity to sounds which would otherwise be heard normally, also referred to as hearing impairment. Deafness is profound hearing loss, which implies very little or no hearing. People with deafness often use sign language for communication. Causes of hearing loss in children include infections, otitis media, ototoxic, damaging to the auditory system, drugs, meningitis, measles, chickenpox, and influenza, among others. And causes of hearing loss in adults are genetic hearing infections, head trauma, ear trauma, ototoxic drugs, chemotherapy, and tumor of the ear. In Zambia, Bed Cure Hospital, in partnership with the Ministry of Health, have been making efforts to advance issues of hearing loss, although more still needs to be done on this health issue. Gideon Daka, a victim of hearing loss, says it is not easy to be in this condition. He says communication is a challenge, hence it is important that people get to learn the basics of sign language for easy communication.
It's been an easy journey for me, being a deaf, because people out there think that the deaf people are difficult, they easily get angry, and they like fighting. But that is the opposite. Deaf people are so friendly as long as the hearing people learn how to communicate with them. Yeah, so it's been a hard journey, but he is so grateful that God gave him an opportunity to work here at Bed Cure Hospital.
ENT surgeon at the University Teaching Hospital, UTH, Rachel Apunda, says any person is at risk of hearing loss, hence prevention is better than cure, as she called for concerted efforts in addressing ENT issues.
It's very important for us to understand that hearing impairment can actually come in as a result of maybe it was medication that was given and it was in a high dose. Those are things that can actually be prevented. If we're keen to that, if even healthcare workers are aware of the side effects of such drugs, then we can also help reduce the prevalence of hearing impairment. Now, what happens when a baby is born? A baby can be born preterm, and we all know that when a baby is born preterm, not all the parts or all the organs are fully formed. That also means that the ear sometimes is not fully formed, and that's a baby who will have some degree of hearing impairment. A baby who is deprived of oxygen when they are born. We have heard of situations where a baby has to undergo a cesarean section because they are not getting enough oxygen. When that baby does not get enough oxygen, even the ear organ can suffer.
Creating an inclusive society begins with you and I. Patrick Soko, Camnet News.
And moving on in the news, Opposition United Party for National Development, UPND, MBABALA constituency member of parliament, EPHRAIM, BELEMU, has accused his former party of sidelining loyal serving party members for newcomers. Speaking during his defection from the UPND to the PF Tuesday morning, he explains that there is a notion in the UPND that the party is forming government this year, hence embracing new members, while sidelining those who have suffered for the party. According to him, the UPND has embraced more crooked people, a move he says he will not withstand. Mr. Belemu becomes the second high-ranked UPND official to leave the party after former UPND spokesperson Charles Kakoma took a similar stance last week, citing frustrations after being dropped from his position on account of non-performance. Mr. Belemu further accuses his party of stabbing him in the back despite his dedication to the party. And PF National Chairperson Samuel Mukupa, who received him to the party, says his defection to the party demonstrates that the PF is loved by Zambians. Others on hand to receive him were Stephen Kampiongo, Joseph Malanji, Brian Mundabile, and immediate past UPND spokesperson Charles Kakoma.
UPND today are standing to a monster that thrives and eats its own babies, especially the royal babies. At times they are accused of smelling like a goat as an excuse for the mother and father hyena to eat them. Have been true to the UPND, true. And when I say true, I mean true. These are colleagues that I'm seated with here that he fought all these years, both in Parliament and outside Parliament. And I had one goal, to make the UPND form a government. But as it turned out today, and they are free to challenge me. And to be fair, if we removed the party presidents and their running mates or potential running mates, we picked the first 200 members in their order of seniority of all political parties. I'm afraid to say today the UPND has amassed more dishonest people than any other political party. And because of that, they think that the solution is to cannibalize those of us that have been loyal and committed to the cause. For me, politics is about a cause. And if you go simple probability, therefore, it tells you that at any given time, the UPND has a higher chance, assuming that's where you're going to get the senior officials that will serve government, has a higher chance of picking a crook than any other political party.
We take our first set of commercials. Do stay with us as we still have more interesting stories lined up for you.
From time immemorial, we have had different types of lighting options, from those that can burn down our investments in minutes to those that dig holes in our pockets due to constant replacement and huge consumption of our ZESCO units. Savenda Electric introduces the new and advanced electric bulb with cutting-edge technology of LED that has low power consumption, gives out bright white light, and lasts up to 25,000 hours. Savenda Electric manufactures all types of LED light, like plastic LED fluorescent tubes, down lights, ceiling lights, outdoor fittings, and solar street lights made to customer specifications. Let's live on the bright side of life by choosing the wide range of Savenda electric lighting solutions that are available in all leading stores and supermarkets countrywide. For orders, call 0962-642-490 or email jnbunda@savenda.com or pchabula@savenda.com.
The Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ, has extended the physical inspection of the Provisional Register of Voters for the purpose of verification of voter details. The extension of the physical inspection exercise will be conducted from the 3rd to the 7th of April 2021. If you are a registered voter and you need to correct details on your voter's card, go to the designated registration center and have your details corrected. During the inspection period, a registered voter can replace a lost, damaged, or defaced voter's card, transfer from one polling station to another, make a claim to be included in the Provisional Register of Voters if they were omitted. Remember to carry your voters and green national registration cards to inspect your details. If you are replacing a lost voter's card, carry your green national registration card and a police report. It is your right. It is your vote.
Because 2021, it's time to vote. 2021, let's verify.
This message is brought to you by the Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ.
Are you a qualified and skilled marketing person? Have you got the passion and motivation as a marketer? Camnet TV is looking for self-motivated, qualified marketers. For more details, please call 0962 965 883 or send your details to the email info@camnettvafrica.com. Remember that Camnet TV is not just another channel.
Thank you so much for staying with us. We continue with the news. One Patriotic Front PF cadre and a council worker have asked Lusaka Magistrate Tandosa Chabala to discontinue a case in which the dragged self-proclaimed PF National Commander Innocent Kalimanchi to court for assault. Muhammad Mutale, 49, who is PF Lilai Ward 4 councillor, at the same time Chawama Youth Chairperson, has told Magistrate Chabala that his decision to withdraw the matter comes in the wake of their reconciliation. And a second victim, Isaac Banda, a council officer, has also told the court he is no longer interested in pursuing the matter further as he has chosen to forgive the accused person. More in this report.
The Lusaka's Magistrate Court will on the 19th of April 2021 decide whether to discontinue the case or not in a case in which self-proclaimed PF National Commander Innocent Kalimanchi is accused of assault. This is in a case in which Kalimanchi is jointly charged with Nathan Piri and Capson Mwanza with 3 counts of assault occasioning actual bodily harm. They are accused of assaulting Muhammad Mutale, a Patriotic Front Lilai Ward 4 councillor, and also Chawama Youth Chairperson, Isaac Banda, a council officer, and Kingsley Nyambe on the 26th of October 2020. But when the matter came before Magistrate Tandosa Chabala for commencement of trial Tuesday morning, the 2 victims, Muhammad Mutale, the PF Lilai Ward 4 councillor, and Isaac Banda, asked the court to discontinue the case on ground that they had reconciled with the 3 accused persons. Mutale told the court that according to their party belief, which is the Patriotic Front, they are taught to demonstrate true humanity of forgiving anyone. And the second victim, Banda, told Magistrate Chabala that his uncle and pastor told him to forgive the accused person as it was the right thing to do. The 2 victims told the court that during the time the case was being adjourned, they had an opportunity to set things straight with the 3 accused persons. However, the court could not proceed to make a ruling as the 3rd victim, Kingsley Nyambe, was not before court to give his position. The trio was arrested on 28th of October 2020 in relation with a fracas that allegedly happened in Chawama compound in the afternoon of 27th October 2020, on which upon unruly youths clashed and ended up causing disruption of peace in the area. Unlike any other day, Kalimanchi was Tuesday morning accompanied to court by his sympathizers.
I cannot comment for now. Leave everything in the hands of the court. Okay.
The matter comes up on the 19th of April 2021. Miriam Kemba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Health Minister Jonas Chanda says his ministry has received communication from the African Vaccine Acquisition Task Team established by the African Union indicating that Zambia has been allocated doses of Johnson & Johnson's in addition to the COVAX facility. Dr. Chanda says government through his ministry has continued to explore additional options for the vaccine acquisition through the 3-pillar strategy. The Health Minister says a local task team is this week scheduled to hold a meeting to review the guidelines for the private sector and non-state actors who have expressed interest in supporting the vaccine acquisition. Dr. Jonas Chanda also says the ministry is yet to determine if there will be a spike in the COVID-19 cases resulting from unsupervised super spreader events that took place during the 4 days holiday. And the country has in the last 24 hours recorded 62 new COVID-19 cases with 2 deaths while 1 patient is in critical condition.
The Zambian government, under the able leadership of His Excellency President Dr. Edgar LUNGU, has through the Ministry of Health continued to explore additional options for vaccine acquisition through our 3-pillar strategy. Recently, in addition to the COVAX facility, we received communication from the African Vaccine Acquisition Task Team, AVAT, established by the African Union, indicating that Zambia has been allocated doses of Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccines. This is in addition to what I've already mentioned, the COVAX facility. Additionally, our local task team is this week scheduled to hold a meeting to review the guidelines for the private sector and non-state actors who have expressed interest in supporting the vaccine acquisition. The Ministry of Health wishes to guide that our engagement of the private players who proceed cautiously with approved organizations being represented and in a transparent and accountable manner. The team will focus on aligning to the country's COVID-19 vaccine acquisition and deployment processes and ensure the safety and efficacy criteria are met throughout the program.
The Health Professions Council of Zambia, HPCZ, has advised all medical institutions to ensure that health measures put in place to prevent the COVID-19 are not relaxed. HPCZ Senior Public Relations Officer Terry Musonda notes that the students play an important role in maintaining the low numbers that have been recorded in recent weeks, which he says should be upheld. Mr. Musonda explains that now more than ever the country needs to adhere to preventive measures, especially as the third wave of the virus looms. Mr. Musonda was speaking to Camnet TV News Tuesday morning.
Health Professions Council of Zambia, being the promoter of both quality health care and training standards, we join cause by our parent ministry, the Ministry of Health, and the Zambia National Public Health Institute, and indeed other stakeholders, to urge the public to continue adhering to the COVID-19 golden rules with regards to COVID-19 response. In particular, as HPCZ, we want to encourage students countrywide at training institutions offering HPCZ approved programs that they need to continue being ambassadors with regards to COVID-19 fight. For Zambia to continue with the maintenance of the positivity rate of 5%, below 5% as the case has been the past 2 weeks, and 3% the past 1 week. We feel that as HPCZ, students need to be ambassadors, incorporate COVID-19 issues in their discourse, and continue sticking to the COVID-19 regulations, being examples both at home and in communities. We feel this will have a ripple effect on the communities when they see students who are pursuing health-related programs taking the reading law. It will be a positive thing.
Government says it is up to date with relief distribution to all flood victims in Lusaka. Speaking after distributing this month's consignment to flood victims camped near Ngwenya Dam, Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit DMMU Lusaka Regional Coordinator Milton Malaya says his office has a schedule for all affected families. Mr. Malaya says DMMU still has enough relief items for all the affected victims. He said DMMU has a list of people that are qualified to receive relief packages, which includes those in tents and those being rented houses by government. He says his office is working with ward development committees to ensure all affected people are included in the register. Mr. Malaya says those who are not part of the 3,500 should get in touch with the ward development committee and register. Meanwhile, Ngwenya camp manager Michael Kaposa says the camp has never had less supply of food from the time the victims were relocated. Mr. Kaposa says all the 20 families in tents have all the needed items, which include millie meal, cooking oil, beans and kapenta.
We are taking care of all of them. We are giving them food bags every month, and this is going to be for 3 months, and if anything, to be revised. But otherwise, for those that have problems, if at all they were not captured, they are free to go to the World Development Committee so that they are recorded, and then they also be given a share, and no one is going to be left without food. Government is committed to ensure that its people are taken care of, those that are affected by floods or any disaster.
I'm also surprised to hear that people are saying that the MMU is not taking care of us, because even last month we received milk, rice, cooking oil, everything we received. This time, those people who are not even in tanks, they're the ones who are giving those media reports, and it's very wrong. And for us, when we don't have anything, I know the process. I mostly call the DMMU, and they always respond to me.
Last month banatupata zonse kitchen utensils manje apa zonse futi atupasa so niunga zikomo kuli ba president batu balungu.
Police have disclosed that during this year's Easter holiday, a total number of 193 road traffic accidents were recorded, with 21 being fatal, in which 21 persons were killed. Police spokesperson Esther Katongo says 29 were serious road traffic accidents, in which 50 persons were seriously injured, while 45 were slight road traffic accidents, in which 72 persons were slightly injured and 98 were recorded as damaged only road traffic accidents. Ms. Katongo explains that with comparison to the 2020 Easter holiday, 142 road traffic accidents were recorded as compared to 193 road traffic accidents recorded this year. The figures show an increase by 51 road traffic accidents. Lusaka province recorded 67 road traffic accidents with 5 deaths. Southern had 19 road traffic accidents with 3 deaths. Eastern had 12 road traffic accidents with 2 deaths. Muchinga had 10 road traffic accidents with 2 deaths, while Northern had 4 road traffic accidents with 1 death. Others are Western with 4 road traffic accidents with no deaths recorded. Northwestern had 5 road traffic accidents with 1 death, and Wapula had 5 road traffic accidents with 1 death. Meanwhile, a total number of 924,690 kwacha was raised as admission of guilt in 2021 compared to 249,887 kwacha raised as admission of guilt in 2020, indicating an increase in admission of guilt fines collected by 674,803 kwacha. Zambia police spokesperson Esther Katongo says the increase in road traffic accidents and casualties in 2021 Easter holiday are attributed to non-compliance to road traffic rules and regulations by some motorists and other road users. And moving on in the news, the National Action for Quality Education in Zambia, ACCUSES, in Eastern Province is appealing to the Ministry of General Education to start paying responsibility and double-class allowances to deserving teachers in the province. Provincial Coordinator Clement Zulu says some teachers in the province have not been paid responsibility and double-class allowances since January 2021. Mr. Zulu says the scenario will hugely affect the quality of teaching because the affected teachers are demotivated. He says it is also critical that the ministry and the Teaching Service Commission quickly work on upgrading salary skills of thousands of teachers in Eastern Province. Some of these teachers have waited for these upgrades for years, which he says tends to discourage some teachers.
Our teachers in Eastern Province have not been paid responsibility and double-class allowances since January 2021. As NACCUSES in the region, we feel that the sad scenario will hugely affect the quality of teaching because the affected teachers are demotivated. It is also our appeal to the Ministry of General Education as well as Teaching Service Commission that they speed up the process of upgrading the salary scales of thousands of teachers in Eastern Province. Some of these teachers have waited for these upgrades for years.
We take another set of commercials. Do stay with us as we still have international and sports news. Do not go away.
You know I can take her a bit.
Yes, my dear.
I was thinking of getting you a Bugatti on your birthday.
Really?
I'm quiet. My name is Yana.
Don't worry, man. That's why there is insurance.
Insurance?
You've heard me.
Not just any kind of insurance, but Savenda General Insurance, a company that offers superior customer service, highly professional and dedicated staff. We are not just any insurance company, but an insurance company that actually pays our claims. We cover, among others, fire, marine, aviation, engineering, agriculture, motor vehicle, and miscellaneous insurance. So, live life to the full, knowing that Savenda General Insurance has got you covered. Savenda General Insurance. Insurance excellence.
And why do you look so pale and busy scratching yourself?
Lamwandi, you know my skin is very sensitive. I've tried all the skin products and nothing seems to work.
Have you tried Oracle Pure Glycerin?
Oracle Pure Glycerin? What's that?
Just give me a minute.
Oracle Pure Glycerin gives your skin a youthful and healthy glow.
Ish, you're glowing.
Don't tell me.
Yes!
I already know the secrets.
Oracle Pure Glycerin!
Try Oracle Pure Glycerin for that perfect skin.
2021 has been described as a highly politically charged year. This is because every 5 years the country goes to the polls, and that 5 years elapses. With only a few months remaining down to the ballot, the battlefield to appear on the ballot is becoming fertile. A lot of people are expressing interest in appearing on the ballot.
In all this, our interest is to put the duty bearers, the leaders, and those aspiring to task by asking the relevant questions.
If you're an aspiring candidate, be it councillor, mayor, or member of parliament, get in touch with us to get yourself on the verdict.
We go beyond speculation in dealing with policy and governance issues. The right questions are asked to help you make a verdict.
For more details, you can call us on 0962 965883, 0979 753010, or email us info@camnettvafrica.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Join us on Camnet TV
every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday at 17:45 hours
on a new program dubbed The Verdict.
Remember that Camnet TV is not just another channel.
Thank you so much for staying with us. We continue with the news. In international news, Mozambique's army says it has retaken control of the northern town of Palma from a group of fighters linked to ISIS that attacked last month. A military spokesman says a significant number of fighters were killed during the operation. The UN says more than 20,000 people were stayed in Palma despite the attack. It is hoped that those who left will be able to return home soon. Al Jazeera's Victoria Gettenbay reports.
Soldiers patrol the streets of Palma. Army commanders say the military is back in control of the town nearly 2 weeks after it was seized by armed groups.
We cleared the last area this morning and it's completely safe. In the next few hours, if we need to bring in any planes with food for the population, that can be done with no problem. It is secure.
There's not much left of Palma. Buildings including the town's hospital, the state prosecutor's office, banks and shops are badly damaged. And soldiers have the grim task of covering up dead bodies lying on the street.
The increasing boldness of the terrorist activities that we've seen in Mozambique is very concerning indeed. I think the violence they have perpetrated on civilians in Mozambique is truly atrocious, and it has been condemned and needs to be condemned again and again.
The governor of Cabo Delgado admitted the situation is bleak, but said he's optimistic things can improve.
We are here because our security and defense forces defended the country, and everything that has been said and the government position is that the job has been done. We defeated the enemy.
Around 75,000 people used to live in Palmer. Most escaped the attack. Around 2,000 displaced people made it to the city of Pemba. But the influx is putting pressure on local services and families. Peter Ngwila took in 7 relatives and is now struggling to make ends meet.
It's a big sacrifice. I used to buy 1 sack of rice, which was enough for all of us. But now I have to buy 2 or 3 sacks because we have so many people to feed. Food is expensive, much more expensive with all these refugees.
The UN says more than 20,000 people stayed in Palmer despite the attack. It's hoped those who left will be able to return home soon. Victoria Gatenby, Al Jazeera.
We now get into sports news. And in sports news, Premier League leaders Manchester City have reported a loss of 126 million euros for the 2019-2020 season, which was disrupted by the coronavirus pandemic. The club posted an 11% reduction in revenue to 478.4 million euros, but the figure does not include delayed income from players' sales, including proceeds from Leroy Sané's move to Bayern Munich. City expect an immediate return to profit for the current season. A total loss of less than 60 million euros per year is focused over the 2 campaigns. The Premier League season was postponed between March and June 2020 due to the pandemic, which has since prevented fans from attending games. Chief Executive Farin Sorino said clearly the 2019-2020 accounts in isolation are not the best representation of the reality of the season, with delayed player trading and numerous games being played after the 30th of June 2020. The Revenue City, who are 14 points clear of Cosset's Premier League challengers Manchester United, are competing for 4 trophies in the latter stages of the 2020-2021 campaign. That sports item brings us to the end of the news, but before we go, a recap of the headlines. Local block manufacturers complain of unfair competition from foreigners. Kambwili, in beefed up security, as court finds him with a case to answer for insulting President LUNGU. UPND MBABALA MP EPHRAIM BELEMU excuses his party of stabbing him in the back, hence running to PF. In international news, Mozambique army says town attacked by fighters is now secure. And in sports news, Manchester City post 126 million euros loss for disrupted 2019-2020 season. The Camnet verse of the day is coming from the book of 1 Peter 3 verse 15, and it reads, "But honor the Messiah as Lord in your hearts. Always be ready to give a defense to anyone who asks you for a reason for the hope that is in you." On behalf of the entire news production crew and myself, Lusaka Case, thank you so much for watching Camnet TV News on Camnet TV, not just another channel.